It's CBS Sports and NFL Network's Charles Davis. And Charles, you were on the call at the Combine for NFL Network. It feels silly to ask because you have so many to choose from, but was there a moment in particular that you just absolutely loved?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's moments, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I just love the end of each drill, and you see all those guys run to the end zone to celebrate, and it's a relief. I mean, I can't imagine. Well, actually, I can. I did it many, many moons ago, but I wasn't nearly the player a lot of these kids are. But everything that goes into the preparation, the anxiety, even though a player will never admit to it, the mental. Okay, do I measure up? Am I better than this person? Will this be my best weekend? My best 2 days of working out that I need to impress these people. And then you go out and you put it all out there, and then it's over. And that's got to be the biggest relief in most cases. And the best part is you're not a team, but there's a bond. And you can see it at the end when they all go there. And, you have the ones who can do the backflips. You got the ones who can do the front deal and finish it with a round off. And then we saw Tate Ratledge, the offensive lineman for Georgia. He just did a somersault, which was cool, which I thought was the most fun thing.
That would be my move
there. But for me, it's just very simply so much goes into it to see the relief, the exultation, the joy, and then there are plenty of them that there's no joy. They didn't hit the numbers they wanted to hit. Things didn't go quite right. Their biorhythms were off for the weekend. They got hurt. Who knows what it is? So there's all that mixed up in it.
Charles, before I ask my question, I want to tell you something. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. I'm watching the Combine with my 12-year-old, and he goes, "Man, Dad, I really like his voice." No joke. He was talking about,
oh, wow.
You should talk like him. I go, well, we got to have our own style and stuff. But yeah, just my 12-year-old really loved your voice and your analysis, and that I'm not making that up. It's crazy.
Well, you tell him thank you very, very much, and I greatly appreciate it. And here's the thing. He's 12, right? I will tell you, he will come back around to where Dad's voice is number one. But for right now, you are in that range where they like others, that sort of deal. Like, as a player, you've seen it, right, where other teammates or what have you bring their kids around. And are those teammates kids wearing their dad's jersey, or are they wearing their favorite player's jersey?
Favorite player.
It happens all the time. It always happens, right? And Dad's like, what? What's going on here? And then when they get older and they have it all encapsulated, Dad always comes out number one at that point. Just take some time.
I'm going to bring up this moment. I'm going to record this, and then when they come back around, I'm like, look, Charles told you, all right? Here we go. But,
real quick, it's the old Mark Twain. Remember the Mark Twain comment where the kid went away from home and came back and said, "It's amazing how smart the old man got in the 7 years I was gone."
Yep. But my football question is, have you ever seen somebody, because I think we were watching the running back drills when my son made that comment, and then we saw some guys kind of stumble over the bags, and he's asking questions about this guy and that guy. I go, well, that's SEC Player of the Year there. That's Damian Martinez. And I'm giving him the rundowns, and he's like, how come they're not good at these drills? And I go, well, they're drills. And he goes, well, how are they does that really going to affect their draft status? I go, not really, but they just want to see some stuff. Have you ever seen a prospect who had a great year just come out and do horrible in the Combine, yet still get drafted pretty high?
Yeah, I actually have seen it. I've seen it, and it's a great question because we put so much into the Combine. Obviously, it's a televised event, and a whole lot of people watch it. There's no way to totally quantify, what people thought of a player going in, and then if he had a lousy Combine, you know what I mean?
Right.
Did that really drop him 2 rounds, 3 rounds, which we dramatically talk about? I think rarely happens. But I have seen where players have had really rough combines. Now, the beauty of it is if you have a rough one, you usually have a second chance at the apple, which is your pro day back at your school. And my favorite example of this was Joe Hayden. You remember him, the great corner who played in Cleveland and Pittsburgh? Joe came in one of the highly touted people. And I'm telling you, if it could have gone wrong at the Combine for Joe Hayden, it went wrong. Drills, you name it. He's stumbling around. He's turning the wrong way. He's doing everything. And then, of course, he's supposed to run. And, we expect Joe to be super fast. And he runs way slower than anyone expected. And, it became the buzz of the combine. Like, what happened to Joe Hayden? 3 weeks later, he runs in his pro day at Florida. And Joe ran a sub 4.4. I think he ran 4.35, 4.36. And it was on natural grass, not even on turf. So that adds like a 0.5
right.
to your timing. So everybody went, oh, that's the Joe Hayden we were expecting. So everything went away. Okay. Now there's another player I saw, and I'll be real quick on this one. Wide receiver, SEC school. I will not mention his name because it's not fair to him. He ran a wide receiver now, folks, a 4.9 something.
Ooh-wee.
I kid you not. And then he came back and did it a second time, and I think he may have lowered it to a high 4.8 something. I think I can't remember. I think I'm really trying to give him some points here. Truthfully, the 4.9 whatever stuck in my head, everyone's head. I don't know that we ever saw that player again. Man. I really don't. I don't know the pro day. I don't know whatever. That one just kind of eliminated him, mainly because of position. Like, I don't care what you do, you can't run 4.9 something. Although Jake Bobo,
I was gonna say,
I don't have it in front of me, but Jake Bobo ran a time that normally you just go, son, as Chuck Noll used to say, it's time for you to get on with your life work.
I want to say it was a 4.7.
Yeah, Jake Bobo was functioning quite well. No, it was higher.
It was like 4.9.
No,
4.9, maybe even 5 flat.
It was. And the only other the superstar I saw at wide receiver that ran a horrible time was Anquan Bolden. Anquan ran a 4.81.
Man.
And no one could cover him. So you do have those outliers. As a general rule, that's going to eliminate you, but not in the case of Anquan, not in the case of Jake Bobo, who had to fight through the hard way. Anquan still was drafted and was expected to be a player. Jake Bobo had to do it a different way. And so the beauty is he never has to run another 40 in his life. He just has to go out and play.
Hey, Charles, what did you make of the top quarterback prospects opting not to throw during workouts? And do you think that's a trend we see continue?
Yeah, this is a trend we've had forever. There's always people who aren't going to throw. This is nothing new. We used to rail about it. I wish if you get a chance, pull our tapes from 10 years ago. And hear us. Oh, I can't believe he's not throwing. Right? We're on our porch screaming into the front lawn. Get off of it! Why are you not throwing, kids? And now you don't hear a peep out of us. It's just kind of standard operating procedure. You go how you want to go. So it didn't surprise us at all. But I have noticed that if the top guys choose not to throw, the other guys can't wait to throw. Mm-hmm. They want to fill in, and this is their chance to get the eyeballs on them. I don't see it because in the beginning when the top guys didn't throw, it put doubt in the minds of everyone else. They're like, well, maybe we shouldn't throw either. Maybe they know something we don't know. But now the other kids are like, no, I'm going to throw. Because finally there's a trust factor that me showing what I can do throwing does not correlate to them sitting in the stands and going, he was just 11 for 18 throwing it. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't have any timing. You don't have it. You don't know where the receiver is going to break. They're supposed to break at 15. They break at 12. They're supposed to break at 15. They break at 18. You see where I'm going with this. They just want to see you go back and do your drop, how you turn to open up to throw the football, how it comes off your hand. They want to see how you interact with people. If people gravitate towards you, then they start to see that maybe you're that quarterback that people want to be around. All those other things that go with it. And the rest of the group, they threw, and they responded and did well. And this is not going to hurt Shedeur Sanders. It's not going to hurt Cam Ward. They'll do their own pro days and go from there. It's just kind of expected. We're not surprised when someone doesn't throw, but we're deliriously happy when they do choose to throw.
Yeah, and that's the way I looked at Will Howard. Didn't have the greatest day throwing the football. And as I'm watching the combine with my son, I go, man, because he's used to throwing to two of the top receivers in the country, man. You got Emeka over there. You got Jeremiah. It's just the relationship and chemistry is different. So, of course, they're going to look at his performance and take it into account a little bit. But with Will Howard, do you think it was more important that he showed some of the things that you mentioned, like guys gravitating towards him and him interviewing well?
Yeah, absolutely. Those interviews, as you know, are crucial, right? So how you come off to different teams. And here's my favorite part of it. Stuff's going to leak out, right? There are going to be reports, okay? I'm quite sure you two have already seen the report that Shedeur Sanders came off as brash and arrogant, according to one, I think it was an NFC coach or something like that, right? So you're going to get these things. Well, to someone else, and let's say Shedeur did the same interview all the way across the board. To some other teams, they're like, boy, that kid's confident, isn't he? I need confidence in my quarterback. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's all in how they perceive it, and then you go off from there. And then you will have some of these reports that come out. I mean, sounds crazy, right? But we're playing football espionage. You're crazy about the kid, but you don't want anyone else to be crazy about it. So somehow you leak out a report that his interview was horrible, he was terrible on the board, couldn't interact well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you could find it, that team drafts him. Because they want you off somewhere else. Now, the idea that you're just chasing everyone away, I think that's an older scouting trick. I don't know that we do it and can get away with it quite the same today because everyone does such extensive research. But you also have played a game of ignoring people you really like. My favorite example was Jay Cutler when he came out of Vanderbilt. The Denver Broncos took him, I think, at 11. And then the word came out later that they'd had zero contact with Jay Cutler because Mike Shanahan was running the Broncos, and he ordered everyone to ignore him, don't talk to him. He's the guy I really want, but I don't want anyone else to know that we're interested. And they did it. So they scouted him stealth. They did everything kind of on the perimeter, on the fringe, watched him from afar, took his numbers, all that other stuff, but didn't spend any time with him so no one knew that they were interested.
I want to say Bobby Wagner was like that too with the Seahawks. Obviously a second rounder, a little bit different when there's less at stake for a day 2 pick, but
yeah. But you know something with Bobby, the tough part was, the famous story is Bobby didn't do the combine.
Yeah.
And that's true, but it's because he was sick. It wasn't that Bobby didn't want to do the combine. And I often wondered if because he didn't do the combine and put himself right out there. Remember, Utah State. So sometimes at Utah State at the combine who shows what Bobby Wagner is, it alleviates a lot more concerns for people. I know that's gotten less and less. I'll be honest about it. I don't hear it nearly as much as I used to. But a lot of them are like, hey, he's at North Dakota State. Really love North Dakota State, but boy, I got to see him in the Senior Bowl line up with the big boys. So Gray Zabel, the offensive lineman, did that and was so good that guys kept challenging him. Like, I got to take on Gray Zabel. And Gray Zabel kept okay, next, next, and just took them all on. And now he is sitting there in first-round conversation where prior to the Senior Bowl, we weren't having it. But if Gray Zabel comes out of North Dakota State, doesn't go to the Senior Bowl, doesn't play against those guys from the power conferences, sometimes you don't go as high as you probably should because I think most people will lean towards the power conference guys as a tiebreaker because they've seen them do it against people of similar stature.
Hey, I have a theory. All right, I love the combine. Yeah. But there's something that I think we don't need to see anymore. You tell me what you think. I don't need to see a 300-pounder run 40 yards. Give me that 10-yard split, run 10 yards, and let's call it good. What do you say to that?
I have no argument against you. Zero. But, and the only reason I say but, it's going to be hard to get rid of it because it's another baseline tester that people have used forever. And do you know where it came from?
Where?
Paul Brown, the great Paul Brown. Paul Brown gave us so many things that we use today. He gave us a 40-yard dash. He gave us filming. He gave us film and grades. He gave us the full playbook. He gave us – I go on and on with all of his contributions to the game. But he picked 40, and it was an arbitrary number. But his reasoning was, 50's too far and 30's too short, and, the average big play goes this far. And somehow it settled at 40, and off we went. I have no argument with you on taking it out. Let's just get to the 10-yard splits. But I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get people to not do it. And here's where you're also going to lose this year, and it's only this year. I don't remember anyone pulling up this year.
Nope.
I don't remember a hamstring. I don't remember a quad, right? And normally that's like a lock because that's what we always say when the big boys get up there. We're like, oh, God, here it comes. But I don't remember a single one. I was there all those days, so I will say, maybe I went into the ether for a while there. But overall, I was locked in. And I remember saying it to someone on our crew, and they're like, "Don't say it."
Don't jinx
the
it.
last group ran. He said, "You're messing with the perfect game. Don't do it."
Yeah.
But I don't remember anyone. Do you guys remember anyone pulling up? Because normally you have at least a few of those, and we haven't. These kids are better trained than they've ever been before. There was some element of good fortune because sometimes you'd be better trained and not. I think we had the tight end from Texas, Helm. Turned out he sprained his ankle on his first 40. Oh. He kind of stumbled coming out, sprained his ankle, and then went back because he ran 4.9 something. And I went, whoa, what the heck just happened here? Because he doesn't look 4.9 on tape. Then he came back and ran 4.84, and I still thought that was slow from what I'd seen on tape. It turned out he had an ankle sprain. But how about this kid? Never told anyone, gutted it out, and finished all the drills.
Good for him.
We had the same thing with Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. I don't know what was going on with him, but we figured I think you guys may have seen it, right? He was laboring during drills. We're like, hold a minute, that's not Donovan Jackson. And it was so apparent. Chris Ballard, the GM of Indianapolis, the Colts, was on the field, and he took him aside and talked to him. And then he waved off medical people, the trainers and what have you. He came through one more time, and I just said to him, I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he says, "I'm great." And I backed up like 10 steps because if he got his meat hooks on me, it's it for us.
Then you're a goner.
So
you're a goner.
I'm done.
I know.
Finished. And so I said, "Yes, sir," and let him go. But there was something off for him. But linemen, especially offensive line, that pride, they're going to go until they drop. And he went through everything.
He is CBS Sports and NFL Network's Charles Davis. Charles, this has been so fun. This insight has been so fun. We have loved the stories. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Charles.
Hey, thank you for having me. You guys take care of yourselves, and a special hello to your son, okay?
Oh, thank you. All
Be
right.
good.